Hey, what's up guys? Yokobom here, and I'm back with another episode of the Baltimore Orioles Out of the Park Baseball 19 franchise. And in this episode, we have the season recap. The first season of our franchise just ended, so let's take a look at how it went. Here, looking at the standings first, we finished with a record of 68 and 94. Last in the AL East by quite a bit. The next closest team to us was the Blue Jays, and they're 17 games back. We were 25. Looking around at the rest of the league, of course, Red Sox, Yankees both made the playoffs from out of our division. Cleveland won the AL Central. The Astros won the AL West. Oakland being the second wild card team. Looking at the rest of our league, we were the second worst team in the American League. The Royals were the worst, so kind of lining up there in real life. These standings in particular, they look pretty close to real life anyways, so OOTP did a good job of predicting the season in that way. Looking at the NL East, we have the Mets and the Nationals making the playoffs from the NL East. Cubs from the Central, Dodgers from the West, Diamondbacks being the other wild card. The Nationals and Diamondbacks, of course, in the wild card, and we have the Marlins as the worst team in the National League. I'm just looking at this quick here. The Marlins, Pirates, Reds, and Royals were all worse than us. So right now we're looking at the 5th pick in the draft for next season. So we're going to be having a pretty high pick in the first year player draft next year. So that is going to be good to help build our team. Speaking of our team, let's go ahead and get in and see how our guys performed throughout the season, as this is the end of the year recap. So taking a look here, we're going to start behind the plate. Jesus Sucre and Francisco. Sucre, he played pretty well. He had a good season. In a limited time with us, he had an OBP of 310, slugged 470. His overall stats are a little bit better because of his time in Tampa Bay, where he played pretty well. Francisco, can't say the same for him. He really struggled this year. OPS plus way below league average, which is, of course, 100. His BABIP was around league average as well. So, a little interesting there, seeing how low his average and OBP were, seeing that his BABIP was about league average. Sucre, of course, his OPS plus was higher than league average. So, this is pretty much what I'd expect from our catchers in the future. Not great offensive output, but pretty solid defensively. So pretty pleased with how he performed this year. I'm looking at first base now. Alvarez did alright in time he spent with us. I don't think we're going to be bringing him back. OPS plus was pretty decent. BABIP was low, but kind of expect that from a lefty who's going to get shifted on a ton. Caterini, in his time with us, he played really well. He struggled at first, but brought his average up to over 300, OBP of 366, slugging almost 500, OPS of almost 850, and OPS plus of a 124. Very nice to see. Was worth 1.6 wins in his time with us, so very good to see. Ramirez, he was basically just a guy we picked up in that Trumbo trade that dumped some salary, but he actually played pretty well for us. Had pretty limited time at the end of the season because of the guys we brought up, but still pretty pleased for what it's worth, I guess, although he doesn't really have any impact on the future of this franchise. Looking at the rest of the infield now, Scope was pretty poor this year. It's pretty disappointing. Depending on how much money he wants in the offseason, will pretty much depend on if we bring him back this year, although he is pretty young, so we might just sign him. He is all arbitration eligible this year, so yeah, we probably will bring him back, but we may look to flip him. And Duhar, he bounced back after having a little of a rough start when he came up with us. OPS plus under league average, BABIP under league average, so a little low there, slugging a little low, but not a bad start for a 23-year-old in limited playing time with us, so nothing really to complain about, but then again, nothing to write home about either. Ryan Mountcastle, he came up in September Cops. Only got 3 at-bats, was really disappointing. Would like to see him got more chances, especially with how poor our team is, and that we obviously optioned him up here to take part in the team. So wish he would have got more playing time in the sim. Tim Beckham was really poor. No two ways about that. No, we're definitely not going to be bringing him back this year. Sardinas and limited time as a backup infielder, he was fine. Sample size was extremely small, so can't really say anything there. Mancini, he was decent for us. He, of course, struggled a lot at first. Eventually got his OPS plus to about league average. So not bad there. Hit 37 homers, which is pretty impressive. Did not expect that out of him. Santander, pretty much holding the form here. A little lower than what he had been performing at, but still very good from him. He definitely impressed. Definitely did not expect this from him. OPS of 878, OPS plus of 127, worth 2.5 wins this year. Definitely like to see that out of him. He's definitely going to be a guy we're going to look to have on our team in the future for when we try to contend. DJ Stewart in limited playing time, he absolutely mashed as he did in the minors. And so with him, his potential wasn't that great out to start the season, but over the course of the year, he built on his potential. So he's looking like he could be a key piece for us in the future. OPS of 960, OPS plus of 148 limited time, although his BABIP was way high, so that's probably not sustainable at all, but still really good to see that from him. Almora really struggled in his time with us, only 214 and an OBP of 242, barely slugging over 300. So even though he is great in the outfield and center field especially, would really like to see him hit a lot better. I was really looking for him to be a leadoff guy for us with his high contact and high avoid K rating, but of course if he's not getting on base, he won't be very useful there. So hoping to see a lot more things from him, as of course we are hoping that he's going to do some great things for us since we did acquire him in a trade. Austin Hayes is the last guy we're going to look at for position players. He originally hadn't been playing that bad, but he definitely started to struggle a lot as the season progressed. The low eye and discipline and avoid K's rating really has me worried about him because his hitting ratings are pretty good, but the low I and avoid K ratings are just going to destroy his career because he's never going to get on base much higher than he's hitting. So his season's going to be really dependent on his batting average, which, is definitely not what you want to see. Now taking a look at pitching here. Our pitching was awful. Our pitching was actually the worst in the American League. I don't know about the rest of the major leagues, but we allowed the most runs in the American League. I had the highest ERA, but, can't really tell the whole story just off of ERA, as there are much more better predictive stats. So just looking at FIP here for everybody, we did call up Hunter Harvey, Alize, a couple of our bigger pitching prospects, Ryan Messinger, Tanner Scott. Gave all those guys chances. They all pretty much struggled, though. As you can see, Harvey, Alize, FIPS over 8 and limited chances. Messinger actually pitched pretty well in the 4 innings that we gave him. The story for pitching is pretty much the same. Martinez, Scott, Araujo, Blyer, they were pretty good. Not so much Blyer and above, especially our starters. Our starters were pretty awful. In retrospect, I wish I probably dealt Gosman like it kind of did in real life, because if his salary is higher than 5.5, I probably won't want to bring him back based on how he's played. So hindsight, is 2020, but kind of wish that I had dealt Gosman when I had the chance. Unfortunately, couldn't deal Cobb since he was injured, but that is whatever. I don't really expect pretty much anyone in this rotation to be back unless they are still under contract for next year. But I'm pretty much planning on tearing down the whole pitching, pretty much everybody on this roster, because nobody really showed me that they are worth bringing back. Just looking at a little side note here, our AAA team actually finished first in the International League, which is pretty weird considering I don't really think that we had many guys who were highly touted in AAA. But just looking at our lineup here, pretty much everyone performed well. We obviously had DJ Stewart and a couple of our other prospects we ended up calling up. Played pretty well for us, but even our pitching doesn't look too impressive just from a cursory glance here. But just a little interesting side note there that I thought was interesting when I kind of glanced at it, looking at the home screen there. But this is gonna do it for this episode, guys. The season recap, and when I see you guys next time, we will be in the off season. In my opinion, the most exciting part of this franchise, as we are going to start to look to turn the corner and rebuild this team. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.